Welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. This is gonna be a discussion of all my EX units. I had someone ask me for all of them, cause he's seen that I have a couple. So I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what I think of each EX unit. I have 14, kind of. Okay, so I'll give you guys what I think about them in a PvE and in a PvP and a class match setting. Haven't really had Tower lately, so I can't really tell you what I think about them in terms of PvE, but if anything comes up, I will tell you. Okay, so let's get started. 2B. I think 2B is actually fairly difficult to use. Because her thing is evade, but it's kind of lacking a couple of things. One being, the Tetris Sylphid kind of filled in a little bit there. The other one is there isn't a win evade card. Not to mention there aren't too many great partners that are win type along with that that she can use along with that 2B card. So that's her main issue. Although RNJ did use her as a bruiser, and I think she would work decently well as a bruiser as well, but there aren't that many great win tanks either for you to really run that comp. The only win tank that's actually, I believe, any good is Dario. You might be able to run something like a triple bruiser, Odoa, Yurima 2B kind of win team, but yeah, I don't think Mono Element's gonna work too well with her, despite me trying to do so quite a bit. In class matches, I find her fairly annoying because I keep running into her on my F2P account, and I don't have a good way of dealing with it because my Yuna is not 120. Whirling Vortex stunning, going for the Confuse is actually pretty good. The problem with going for the Confuse is you would need pretty high faith to get that 40% plus chance to confuse. Unfortunately, with high faith, you'll also get hit really, really hard by magic. Unfortunately, I would say her weakness is Rosa, but there aren't too many Rosas running around. Particularly because she's not weak to Maneater and she's not weak to Missile. She's just weak to Ice. So, and the only Ice move that can hit her is Surefire Shot. The Ice Arrow isn't really gonna hit her. Ice Crystal Arrow might one-shot her, but it doesn't have the hit capacity to hit her. So I think she's okay in PvP. It's just really hard to use her, and it's not surprising that people recommend 9S over 2B. Next is Yuna. My opinion of having a Yuna at 120 and having a Yuna at 90, let's say 99. Is that Yuna, I would say Yuna's kind of overrated. She's not very useful under, when she's not 120. Let's put it that way, right? Re-res is okay, but the problem with re-res is she really needs the full life to go along with the re-res. She also needs that Bahamut card. I mean, technically you can throw on Solidus on her and it'll be decently good as well. But really, the reason people think Yuna's OP is because of the 120 power jump, and then on top of which she had a 3-star Esper being Bahamut. Her damage potential is insane. However, using her in arena really sucks. Cause she has a support AI. So she will always prioritize healing people over doing damage. Unless that's the last guy standing, then she might do damage. But I think she would still prioritize healing people. So her being one of the biggest nukers in the game, running on a support AI, that really sucks in arena. So I had to turn off most of her stuff in order to actually use her effectively as a caster. So there's that issue. That's one of the things that I would recommend they change, is to let you pick between support and attack AI. Other than that, I think in PvE, particularly boss killing, she is incredibly useful because that Sonic Wing ability that decreases CT and does damage, awesome. Holy with the Maneater, awesome. I mean, Holy with the Dark Eater is awesome. I think she would be great in the tower because she can just keep healing herself. Um, Overall, I would say she's pretty good, but she's not like, if you missed her, it's not that bad. Uh, I really don't think it's that bad or game breaking if you miss her. Um, but that being said, definitely needs to be 120 in order for her to have her value. Not having, I had a level 99 Yuna, it was bad. Uh, and I didn't have any other healer I can swap her out for. But that's also because of the 50% healing reduction from class matches. But still, I was feeling the pain. Her healing potential is pretty good though, so there's that. Really, after the good thing about her in this class match, Yuna in this class match is if she gets hit with the anything and it procs her her passive has increased healing. So now all of a sudden you have healing and they don't, and it's an awesome advantage. Um, I mean, overall she's great. She's a pretty good unit, but like you can miss Yuna and still live. Uh, it's not as bad as missing something like Jesus Bells. Let's put it that way. Titus. I think Titus is pretty awesome in class matches. Um, and in PvP, his taunting blade, and if you build Titus correctly, which you should because there's a ton of water support, on top of having a ton of good water units to team him up with. The thing with Titus is his damage is insane. He will like easily one-shot people with any of his attacks, like quick hit, jut shot, sphere shot. All of those will easily one-hit people. Taunting Blade can one-hit a group of Clophies, a group of non-tanks. So Titus PvP is awesome. I would say one of the issues with Titus is he suffers from the too many buffs problem, where like you really gotta prioritize which buffs to use first. And unfortunately, we don't have that ability in Arena. We only have the ability to use it or don't use it. You don't get to be like, okay, first turn you use this, second turn you use that. Which is something I think would change the meta a lot if we were to get something like that. And it will also make the game a lot more interesting and add a lot more variety to the game. But anyways, that was Titus. Same thing with Yuna. I think he's a very good boss killer. He has a 4-hit combo attack and a ability that decreases defense and an ability that decreases CT. So, yeah, Hastaga also awesome value. If I were to compare Titus to Yuna, I think Titus is probably the better character, which may not be as widely recognized as everybody else. That's not a popular opinion, I guess. It's just because Hastaga is better than Re-Res. There's another way for you to get Re-Res. Hastaga, super OP, gives everybody haste. And then you have Cheer, you got Taunting Blade. Basically, I would say Titus is probably better than Yuna. And the people that are saying Yuna is better, like, you have the two of them fight naked, no weapons, no Esper, nothing. And you see who will win, right? Yuna, realistically, people think Yuna is strong. It's mostly Bahamut. It's Bahamut that's strong. I throw Bahamut on Mashuri, and Mashuri will go around wreck people. So it's Bahamut, not real. It's Bahamut plus Yuna that makes her push her over the top. But without Bahamut, Yuna's kind of like, which Esper are you gonna put on her? She's kind of iffy. Titus, on the other hand, can work with several Espers, like Golem, Odin, whatever. So I think Titus probably has a lot more versatility and hits a lot harder. Next is Gilgamesh. I believe he got some agility when he went EX. Also, Gilgamesh is one of those, like, really good 120s. I wouldn't say must-have, but for class matches and for PvP, he's freaking awesome. Because if you hate Re-Res, Kotetsu is an AoE Re-Res removal, which was what Dwayne's Magic Infusion was originally supposed to be. Let's put it that way, right? Because originally when Dwayne's poster came out, he had a move called Magic Infusion, and that was a cross-shape AoE. Ended up being a single target attack, which kind of nerfs it a lot. because if it was a cross-shaped AoE, you might accidentally tag the guy with that has re-res. So hate wouldn't really help all that much in that situation, but now hate completely negates the magic infuse, so that kind of sucks. Gilgamesh 120 gives you that the charm guard, very useful in class matches. However, gotta keep in mind, Gilgamesh has a 100 cost, so if you were to use him in class matches, it's a give and a take, and you gotta take 20 costs from somewhere else. Probably so. Generally, he's matched with Phoebe. Not much else to say about him. I think he got a little bit faster, so that really helps. I think he also got a bit more tankier. But definitely one of the better ones. His Excalibur can start removing all buffs. And that's regardless of whether or not it hits. Okay. To give you an idea of a comparison, Excalibur would be equal to Little Leela's ultimate, right? It will hit you, and it will, even if it doesn't hit you, it will still remove all your buffs. The spell spread has to hit you in order to remove your buff. So there's many times when I was challenging Ice as 2B, and after Excalibur Vorpal, my 2B got hit because she lost her illusion buff. So that's why I think of Gilgamesh. Very versatile, very useful. Definitely good in PvP to remove the re-reses. In PvE, I guess he's still pretty good because he's got Quicken. He's got Quicken. He can float, avoid traps. The Kotetsu will lower slash resist. Unfortunately, the thing with Gilgamesh is his range is pretty bad. Like, I mean, okay, his range is like mid-range, but the problem with his range attacks is that Kotetsu ability. You have to land it. If you ever manually use Kotetsu, it's actually pretty annoying to use, because it's very easy for you to hit yourself or hit a partner, stuff like that. King Odie. I had some pretty good fun using him, to be honest. I ran into a couple of games where he almost 1v3 a couple of people. You can throw him a Ifrit Vision Card, Ifrit Esper, and throw him against 3 ice units with 2 other units following him. He might be able to 1v3 them. That's how crazy he is. Unfortunately, the problem with King Odie is 1, his speed, and 2, his movement. The 3-1 movement combo is not good, and particularly on him because he's kind of slow. The other thing about using that on him is he doesn't have a good way of generating hate, so he can't really tank. I mean, his ultimate will generate hate, but his ultimate doesn't do any damage, so the chances of him using his ultimate is 0. Because right at the beginning, he's not going to have enough AP to use it. And then right at the end, he's already up close with the unit, and he's not going to use a move that does no damage. So there's that. Hits like a truck. One of the highest attacks in the game. His Earthen Glory will very easily one-shot a group of units. Particularly if you're running against something like Laswell, Agrius, Gilgamesh. None of them will survive a Earthen Glory from a EX Ode. So that's his highlight. Rob, after he got leveled up, after he got the EX, got a lot more evasive. His Vortex Render big AoE helps a lot. Has better range than Gilgamesh, one more range than Gilgamesh's Kotetsu, and it really shows what that one more extra range can do. And then having his own vision card really pushes him over the top. I would say that Rob is a must level for class matches because of the Keen Blade TMR, but him personally on an evade team, I've fought a lot of light-based evade teams and light-based evade slasher teams, because the Scion card gives agility and it gives slash. That's basically both good for him, and it's good for his evade setup because agility also gives evade. So I would say Rob is decent, kind of niche. I wouldn't really like main Rob. I mean, I'm sure there are people that main Rob, but I wouldn't. Um, there are people that run a light-based slash team with Ramza and Cecil. I think it's very interesting that they run those, and I think it's pretty viable. Uh, it just really depends on the map. Um, I am not a fan of this new coal mines map. Mostly because the units are too spread out and I can't really buff each other. So that being my main issue. But as you can see, he has more attack than King Old. Actually, King Old, I might not have gotten him his attack nodes. Or is he just HP? No, I did get his attack nodes, so I guess Rob has higher attack. Anyways, next. Jiza, very useful. I mean, most people would have her at 99 anyway, but the Liberating Fist is pretty insane. I had a video where she one-shotted a Warrior of Light with the Liberating Fist, so that goes to tell you how strong she is. Unfortunately, still no Fist type. Support vision card, so that kind of sucks. But the Pummel really helps fight a lot of Dark types. This increasing defense penetration is also very good. Her old issue is she didn't have any good support skills, but the Strike Mastery kind of filled in that gap. Locke's team in Locke ran Jiza in a class match, and her charm and her mobility is insane. So Jiza is definitely very good in manual PvP. Arena, not so much. But now that she has the damage from the Liberating Fist, you can kind of run a dark type team and have Yuna just one shot any light type unit that she runs across. Pretty much. Okay, Zazan. Zazan's problem is his agility. If you can manipulate agility in a way where you can get him to move fast enough, Zazan would be freaking awesome in class matches. In arena, I mean, you guys seen my EX Zazan video, and you guys seen my SR challenge videos where I ran Zazan. The thing with arena is I don't think Zazan will work in the current map. Actually, he might, because he's slow. The opponent might move first, and he'll still run up and charm them. But basically, kind of map dependent. The other reason why it's map dependent is because the old map I can run up and Keen Blade everybody, but I can't Keen Blade everybody on the new map with Zazan. So there's that issue. March of the Juggernaut, freaking awesome. Increase attack and something like 50 attack, 25 man-eater. Anyone gets that will start one-shotting people. On top of him having decent attack, 450 is not that bad. It's about the same as EX Mont. But really, you use the Zon for the mobility, the charm, and if you've seen my SR class matches, you would know that in manuals, the Zon is actually pretty nasty, because he can run right across and charm you first turn. And if he catches a quicken, because he's slow enough that the quicken will be after his turn. Basically he runs up, charms, quickens, charm again. Or if you run into a bunch of non-charmers, first turn you use March of the Juggernaut or Keen Blade, you get quickened and you just run up and use Killer Cross. Basically the walking man-eater, that's basically him. And he's also walking around with about like 7,000 HP if you build him correctly. Unfortunately, my Zazan has maxed out Faith because I need him to use Charm. But so he's very susceptible to magic. But look at the 6 move, 3 jump is freaking awesome. Agility is... There's plenty of ways to stack agility in this game that it's not that bad. But 46 agility is really, really bad. Kind of hope that he got some agility for EX, but he didn't. Stern and Odoa suffers from the same problem. It's that if you move first, or if your opponent gets the first hit on you, you're gonna die, and that really sucks in this current mine map. But Stern has it a little bit better because he has Shikichi and Shadowrunner. whereas Odoa does not. So because Stern has that extra movement and a lot higher agility, he's a look at it. He got 820 attack, which is 100 more than our next highest, who's Rob. But basically, if Stern gets an attack on you, you're very likely to die. But if you attack him, he will die too. He's my first EX unit. Even before Titus and Yuna, I believe. I went EX Stern for the Keen Blade combo in Arena, which Locke and Dr. Diggs has been doing. Which is funny because I actually did a video on that about like 3 or 4 months ago when it was less popular. And I was forced to use this during the five times PvP medal days, during the Titus and Yuna class match season. There are ways to counter that Keen Blade combo ability. Particularly with Garbo, you just run Garbo stacked up with agility, and then you just first turn Detonation Blast because Stern and Super Stern are both super squishy. Also class matches. I think his class matches and his arena is roughly the same. It's just don't get hit first. But he's better than Odoa because he has the move 4 jump 2. And he has different attack types, that helps too, with the jump. So I would say Stern is a bit better than Odoa, but not by much. Recently I forgot who did a video with Stern. He was one-shotting people with Calamity Hazard. Phoebe, I did not regret leveling Phoebe. Gave her agility. 64 agility is pretty awesome. 400 magic is pretty good. Speed Force basically is Hastaga. Speed Force I would say is like a weaker version of Hastaga. But still decently good. Longer range Quicken really helps. Unfortunately, it did not gain height along with the range. If it did height and range, it would be awesome. Great user for Shadow Flare, great holder for Solidus as well. The reduced costs. The good thing about the EX system is having using an EX unit does not affect your costs, so you can run both Phoebe and Gilgamesh, and actually still have a 20 cost advantage as compared to running 2 URs. So there's that. What ability did she get? What was the other ability? Speedcast enhancement. This gives her agility, so that's much needed. On top of activation time increase. So yeah, Phoebe got a lot of what she needed and a decent AoE buff, AoE Vitalize. I've always wondered how good agility up plus haste is. If you run Phoebe along with Titus, and you do something along the lines of like first turn Hastaga, second turn Vitalize, or second turn Speed Force, you might start lapping your opponent. Unfortunately, class matches is over and I didn't really get to test that, but I did that back in the day when I was running Double Quicken Federica in free matches, and unfortunately she wasn't able to lap people, but if she stood still, she can. Okay, Odoa, I would say weaker, crappier version of Stern. Less attack, less agility, I believe. But not by much, only by like 1. Stern, well, it's by quite a bit because Stern has a speed ability. I don't think she has any different attack types because all 3 of these are slash. That's why she needed the slash penetration card. She doesn't really work well in an evade team, let's put it that way. I mean, she has that evade passive, but well, I guess you can kind of run her in an evade team, but I feel like Stern would run a better evade than Odoa would too. So I just feel like Stern outclasses her in every way. Viking has some decent abilities, but one of them, Rebellious Spirit, lowers your evade. So unless you're gonna run her as a bruiser, you don't really want to run Viking. And then Assassin also doesn't really have any good ability. She didn't get any of the good assassin abilities, right? She has armor break, and let's just see what she has. I just remember running her, and she was basically dead weight. Mostly I use her for hazard break, and that's really it. AP plunder, because of small attack, it's really only useful in manual. You can run her in a Drain Force team, and it would be okay. It's not like insane, but like all these are the melee attacks, so she didn't inherit any of the. I mean, I guess she got Poison Sting, but I would have rather her have Nightblade. So I mean, that's my opinion of Odoa. I did run her in a Drain Force build where she was hitting people with Drain Force for like 4K, so that was pretty fun. But really niche. Don't recommend building Odoa. Liart, Liart is pretty good. Like, she's no Frederica, but having full life is very, very useful. On top of the amount of status effects she brings, right? Um, Stop Arrow, Charm Arrow, Shadow Devour. That's 4 status effects right there. I used her. If you've seen any of my SR challenge, you would see that she's actually decently good. Particularly in manual PvP. My arenas, I can't really say that like my arenas are any good, but my Zazan was only able to get up to, I think, was it the top 1000s, or no? I think I got up to like the top 300s or something. I was only able to make it up to the top 300s purely because of Liart. And I was hunting water teams with Liart, and that's how I was able to rank up. Despite using despite not really having a bonus at the time, I believe. Or was the Zazan card a bonus? I think the Zazan card was the bonus. But anyways, her attack 422 is okay. That's about the same damage as Phoebe's magic. 50 agility is, I guess, okay. It's 10% better than Zazan, would put it that way. But she gets some of the best moves in the game, like Barrage, Full Life, things like that. I actually run her with Focus, because I want her to use Charm Arrow really fast, and Ranger Lore for the accuracy. The thing with Liart is she is completely anti-evade. Evade units are almost guaranteed to get hit by Liart, just because she has 50 innate accuracy from her master ability, and then another, I think, 20 from Ranger Lore. The other thing with Liart is I think she's one of the only characters that get three skill enhancements instead of a support one, so that really helps. Mont, definitely level Mont, very useful. 4 move 2 jump is insane. Mont, for PvP, you guys seen, I ran him during that 120 era, right when Titus and Yuna came out for the Final Fantasy X class matches. I think Mont did a decent job. He was hitting decently hard. Like, he wasn't really one-shotting anybody, but like, he did some good damage. On top of his Stone Throw being freaking awesome. The other thing about Stone Throw, and this makes him the best unit in class matches, is Stone Throw has 99 ability. He can cast it 99 times. And basically, 5 range, 99 cast, 5 AP. This is insane in the tower, where where every attack's uses have a limit. I probably can run Mont solo for like the first 20 towers, for like the first 20 levels or something. Drain Killer is awesome. One of the things about Mont is I feel like you kind of have to EX him if you want to beat the story. It's actually fairly difficult to beat a level 94 Super Stern as a level 99 Mont. I ultimately had to get Drain Blade to beat Stern, but that was my F2P account. In my main account, I already had him at 120. Okay, after that is Eileen. The problem with the EX units and the thing that's really hard blocking me is the Blooms of Paradise. What to say about Eileen? She did get a bunch of agility nodes, so that really solved a lot of her agility issues. Unfortunately, she didn't get an attack node here. But piercing impulse, it's a piercing attack that does large damage. 5 range is decently big, so I would say it's an okay attack. Shadow Stick enhancement and Earthen Glory enhancement. I believe this is called Universal Glory afterwards. But basically I feel like it just does more damage, so I don't really think she's I haven't really used her that often. 55 agility is okay, but I've used Eileen a few times in some of my videos, but my opinion of her isn't like top tier or anything. She's okay. 9S supposedly is one of the best. Is one of the best 120s. This ability with the ability to cancel. This is basically range AoE jamming thrust. Meanwhile, you got a crappy move known as jamming edge that you got to be right up next to them, and it doesn't do more damage. Shield deployment, it's not bad. This one, reduce pierce resist. I would say I should have leveled 9S over 2B. On top of which, she's only leveled 102 and he's got 66 agility, which is freaking insane. I believe it is possible to counter the it's possible to counter that Keen Blade combo with did I already give him the ability? Yeah, I think I already gave it to him. Might be possible to counter that with 9S, but 9S with the ability is 66. I don't think my Stern is running Shadowrunner. Oh, he's not, yeah. So with Shadowrunner, I think he'll be 72, yeah. Stern's base speed is still way higher. So yeah, scratch what I just said there. And the last person that possibly has a EX is Auron. Well, there's a couple of MRs that I missed out, but I think Auron is probably one of the I think he's decently strong as an EX. The thing is, Auron 99 isn't that great. So he suffers from the same problem as Yuna. You kind of have to be 120. I think for raids and chaining content, he's decently good. I fought an Auron today, and he got well, that was my bad positioning, but he landed a tornado on me, and the tornado had some great range and height accuracy. So I would say his limit break is actually really good. PvE wise, I don't see anything special. PvP wise, this is your tank killer. Okay, that was all of my EXs and what I thought about them. Overall, I think the EX meta, a lot of these EX units are fairly viable. Like, I used Odoa in my 2B video, but you gotta keep in mind, viable and optimal are two different things. But like, Giza, great for CM. I feel like they're good for either CM or Arena. Some of them are good for both, but they all have their niches. And as you can see, I leveled 3 of the people that are UR lower, and one I basically have one MR, one rare, and one SR, one normal, all at EX jobs. So that's about 26 blossoms that 24 blossoms that I wasted. But I can say no regrets. So EX jobs is done decently well, that even the normal SR and rare units become fairly usable after the EX job. Alright, thank you guys all for watching. The Ultimate Chi signing out.